Okay, you guys, we're here with senior defensive lineman Zeandae Johnson. Go ahead and let me know in the chat if you have questions for Zeandae, and I'll call on you. We'll go ahead and start with Jeff Ferrato from SI.
Zeandae, good morning. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm okay. I got a couple questions for you. The first one is if you can just sort of assess the state of the defensive line. You guys have a little less depth, experience depth than you probably thought you would when the summer began. How's it coming along? And then also if you could point out a freshman or two among the newcomers who you think is impressing you so far.
Yeah, we have a little bit less depth than we have had in the past. You know, it's a special season, but I feel confident with what we have, and especially the young guys coming along. Ethan Saunders has really been standing out as a guy who's been able to do some of the things I can do, and that's very impressive for a freshman. And for him to be able to grasp the defense and how far he's come from day one of camp till now, I feel very confident with our starters and our young guys also coming in and being able to play at our level.
And what have you done to improve your game? When we talked to Justin the other day, he said he's been real impressed with the way you're playing.
I've been really working on hand placement, keeping my motor hot, working on things like get off, first step, being able to read blocks. I've been playing defensive line for many, many years now, so I'm getting that much better at reading blocks, calling out screens, and mostly being able to help the guys that are on the field with me. That elevates everybody's level of play.
Great. I'm going to switch gears if I could. The election is Tuesday. Again, when we talked to Justin a couple of days back, he talked about there won't be practice Tuesday, and that you guys did some meetings about trying to get anybody who wanted to, register to vote, make sure they were able to get registered. Talk about, if without telling me what you did, just tell me if you voted and what you sense the level of engagement among your teammates is in this election. Is it elevated, or does it just feel like another election, or what?
It's most definitely elevated. We made sure to emphasize that we have the opportunity here to make a difference and use our vote and our voice. So we got everybody on the team that was willing to register to vote, whether they were in this state or another state. And most guys have already got their ballots.
So you think most guys on the team registered and will vote?
Yes.
And you were old enough to vote, I believe, in 2016. Did you vote then?
I was. Yes.
And how much did this feel different than that election?
This one is much more engaged from people of my age group. Back then, it was a thing to vote. You know, a lot of us it was first time voters, and some people just kind of took like advantage of the fact they're young and they're like, okay, I don't even really need to participate in this. Which now we can see, like, every single vote matters. Like, your vote counts. Your vote matters. You need to vote. So the energy around the young people has changed.
And when you go into looking at Tuesday, are you excited, nervous, anxious? How would you describe your emotions about what might happen on Tuesday?
I'm ready. I am ready. I feel like I've done my part. I've done the best I could do. I'm ready.
Thanks, Zeandae. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Shaylin Singh with the Daily Cloud.
Hey, Zeandae, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. As a sixth-year senior now, with a lot of young guys on the line, like you were talking about, can you talk a little bit about your leadership style and how that's maybe different this year than previous years, and how you're just helping bring these guys along?
Yeah, this year's been a crazy year, but my leadership style has been consistent with how it has been in the past. I try to lead by example. I'm not a guy that's gonna tell you to do something and not show you how to do it. So with the young guys, I've been able to be on the field with them at the same time, kind of like a field general here. I can show you, and then after I come off the field, I'm gonna watch you. When you come off the field, I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, this and this and this is what needs to happen here. And if your eyes go here, I need your eyes to shift there. And if you don't grasp what I'm telling you, I can go back on film and I can show you a video of me doing it to better illustrate like how I need this done or how we need this done. or what the defense needs to do here. So as my leadership role has expanded, being the 6-year guy, I think I've been consistent in what I've been doing.
Awesome. And then were you doing any of that stuff when everything was still online and you guys weren't allowed to practice in person? Was there a lot of like film being bounced back and forth with the younger guys and things like that?
Yeah, most definitely. As a guy that was on film most of the time, it was usually clips of me. So I could reiterate the same style, being able to go and take clips of me in the past, me at USC, me at Washington, me at games years prior, and be like, hey, this is what I need you guys to do. And if they don't understand it, I can show them film of me doing it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Trace Travers from Rivals.
Hey, Zeandae. I don't know what your class load is like as a 6-year senior, but with you guys have the 20-hour rule as far as practice. How has it been balancing the online class and the 20-hour rule of practice right now?
In the beginning, it was a bit of an adjustment of schedules, getting everything settled in. But now that we got kind of back into a routine, it just feels like a Zoom version of season, because you're going to have class every day or every other day. You're going to have practice every day. So it's pretty much the same, but just a little bit different in terms of how we're attending class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to shift gears a bit, you guys, from what Coach Wilcox told us the other day, are having more of the play the games sections with more, hitting and whatnot. How do you feel like you guys kind of have handled the increase in contact and, the increase in you don't have a safety net anymore?
I think we've been doing pretty well. I think most of our guys are finally conditioned to play football, like full go. If they could put the ball, roll the ball out, we're ready to play. And I think getting these guys situational reps has been very important, because we have a game coming up, and then the game, there's no time to practice situation. You're in it live. It's live bullets. So I think getting the situational stuff down now will help us be that much better. It's like some small on the margins, but if you understand it, it can make the difference in a game.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to Jasper Sundin of the Daily Cal.
Hey, Zeandae, real quick, you talked about, I think Trace asked you about like adjusting to a different type of schedule. How do you feel like the younger guys are adjusting? You've been around, you've had a lot of experience, but how do you feel like some of the new guys are working that out?
I think they're doing probably better than us, because this is all they know. They haven't had the experience with the other schedules, so this is what they know. This is how they operate here. So to them, it's regular, because that's all they've known since the beginning of college.
Absolutely. And then I got a couple questions about Brett. I'm doing a feature on him, so I got to talk to the guy. He said, at least he said, people will say he looks a little funky on film, that he's a little more flexible. Can you comment on any of that?
That is one of the most flexible people I've ever met. And when you first meet him, you probably wouldn't assume that he's that flexible. But to watch him on film and some of the movements he's making, you're like, it was a screen where he got clubbed and it looked like he was going to fall, but somehow he got his body down low enough to redirect and cut the screen off. And I was just so confused as to how he didn't trip and how he was able to absorb into the ground like that. Shout out to Coach Beck, absorbing into the ground and being able to redirect and get to the screen, when somebody else would have just got, a lesser athlete probably would have just crumbled.
Absolutely. And then he talked about like getting on the field and then just sort of like getting in the zone as the game goes on, which I don't know, I guess everyone does that in their own way, but can you talk a little bit about what he's like, in the game once the whistle blows?
Yeah. Brett, as far as zeroing in goes, like he's the opposite of mind wandering. Like he is laser focused to the point where it seems like he's dang near a robot. Like he's just wired to go. That's it. Like he's not talking too much beyond like reiterating the calls. He'll come sit on the bench and his mind is one track. It's just one way. Like we got a job to do and I'm laser until we get it done. After we get it done, then you'll hear like a little more joking, but when we're in the situation, he's very serious. He's locked in as far as locked in can go.
Is he like that in practice too? Or...
Yeah, you can tell when he flips that switch, he's in. He's done. It's on.
Absolutely. And then is he like that off the field? Like what's different when, you get into or I guess you're not in the locker room now, but when you do get off?
Bryce got jokes. He got jokes. He's a funny guy. But you can tell when he's on and off the field, it's a whole different, it's a light switch. It's a flip of a switch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Z. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Jim McGill from Bear Insider.
Zeandae, it's maybe a little bit early to ask you this, but have you thought about the crazy scenario of having a 7th year in the program?
Yeah, that's a long time to be in college. Hopefully we can just have a stellar year this year, hit all the notes, get everything done, and get the Cal where we want it to be. And then I'll feel comfortable leaving once I know that my team is where it should be.
Would the 7th year at all be a consideration if things sort of went that direction?
I'll see once we get there, once we see how these games go, see if we can finish where we want to be.
And have you at all had any discussions with any of your teammates about the possibility of taking advantage of that rule to come back the extra year, the other guys themselves?
Yeah, we haven't really been too focused on that. We've all been putting our eggs in this season, these 7 games. Can we get it done? Like, what can we do to get these 7 games to put Cal where Cal needs to be? That's been our focus. I think once we get probably later down the road, probably get to conversating about that. But at the current moment, we're all dialed in.
Thanks.
No problem.
All right. Rusty Simmons from the Chronicle.
Hey, Zeandae, you guys have an experienced offensive line back. How much does that help you and Brett in practice, push you guys, and vice versa? How much are you two pushing that line?
Iron sharpens iron. We got guys that have been from that side of the ball. They've been in every situation. These guys have played against the best of the best in the Pac-12. They are some of the best in the Pac-12. Our offensive line has been able to help me grow, because going toe-to-toe with Jake every day isn't the easiest thing, but it's going to help get both of us better. Going toe-to-toe with Valentino is hard. Mike Safell is one of the smartest centers you're going to find in the Pac-12. These guys have come a long way, and they're helping us get better, and vice versa. We're helping them get better. As soon as we elevate our level of play, here comes Jake. He's watching film. He's looking at his set. He's looking at how I come off the ball. He's looking at how Brett comes off the ball. Like, we're getting better together, and it's exciting to see.
And as you guys get close to a week out of game 1, are you guys as a team sitting down talking about expectations and goals? And if so, can you shed any light on that for us?
Yeah, we have an identity that we have to build into, because we can't just say we're this and then we just expect everything to fall into place. As we've been telling the young guys, like, every year is a new team. And this is what our identity was last year, but this doesn't necessarily mean we just get the free pass to claim it this year. We have to build into it. So if we want to be known as gritty, tough, hard working, we have to be that all the way through. Like, we have to be smart in our situational football. We have to be tough when it's 3rd and short. We got to be smart when they're backed up and not jumping off. Like, we have to build into that. And that's the thing we've been doing this camp, is trying to put the pieces together to form a team that we can say is truly gritty, tough, and smart.
Good stuff. Thanks, Z.
Thank you.
Okay. Jackson Moore from 24/7.
As Zeandae, just what's kind of the energy around the team right now like? Is there a shift with almost game week approaching, or is it still kind of business as usual preseason mode?
Nah, there's been a shift. We're excited to finally get to showcase what we've been working on. Some of these guys have never played in a football game in college before, and they're excited. They're juiced up, and you can just feel the energy building as we get closer and closer and closer. It's going to come to a fever pitch, and I can't wait to see game day. I can't wait to see my young guys on game day, what they're going to show that people haven't seen out of them yet.
And if I can follow, just with this season and also having a conference game to start the year, a lot of unpredictable results around the country. Did you have any time to watch any Big Ten or Mountain West football? Did you learn anything from those games by chance?
Yeah, I've been watching some of the football games that have been playing, Big Ten, Mountain West, a little bit of the ACC. And one thing I was noticing, and I worked on myself, is tackling. There's a lot of missed tackles. There's a lot of mental errors, just things that if you played a little bit more football, it'd probably just be things that you wouldn't even worry about. But tackling is one thing that I've been, trying to do, work on drills. Whenever we have a tackling period, I'm locked in, I'm wired. I got to make sure my steps right foot, right shoulder. Everything's got to be seamless, because that's one thing that is killing defenses around the country right now is tackling. They get in the right situation, they get the matchup they want, and then they miss the tackle and the gate's open. So that's one thing I'm working on. I'm telling my young guys to work on. We have to tackle.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, I see one more in the queue from Trace Travers from Rivals. If anybody else does have something, please put it in the chat now. So we'll go ahead and go to Trace.
Yeah, Zeandae, I just got reminded of something. Last week when we talked to McCade on the offensive line, he said that Aaron Maldonado and J.H. Tevis are the two biggest trash talkers on your defense. Is that true? Because that kind of surprised me.
Absolutely. Yes. J.H. Tevis and Aaron Maldonado are the guys that are going to be chippy. They're going to get at you. They're trying to get in your head because they know how to play. And they know if they get you off your game just that much is going to be an advantage toward them, because at the end of the day, we play defense. And if we can get into your head and you know where you're going, you know the assignments, that gives us a second more to read. As soon as you take a step off, that gives us the step we need, because you already start the play with a little bit of a step. And they got you thinking about all this other stuff, and you're not thinking about your assignment. We get advantage defense.
Are they just like, what do they say really? I know you probably can't say exactly what they say, but is it just like making fun of guys or what?
It's a bit of confusion. Like what they say just confuses the offense as to what they mean. And then it's funny because like in a very serious moment, the last thing you want to do is laugh. It'll mix everything up. You can't concentrate if something is that funny. So these two are joking, and they're like they'll roast somebody on the offense in the middle of the play, and you're trying to concentrate, but it's funny. And like laughter is something you can't really control. So like if you can get somebody to laugh, they're out of their element now. Like their head's not where it should be. They're laughing, you're laughing, and the next thing you know, you get a tackle.
So thank you.
I'm trying to figure out where you're going with that story, Trace. But if anybody else has one, give you about 5 seconds, and after that we'll get Coach Sermon on the line. Okay, I think we're good. Z, thanks a lot for your time. I know you have class at 12. Appreciate you doing this.
No problem. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Z.